Okay guys, so today we are going to be changing the coolant and doing a coolant flush on a 99 V6 Mustang. So what we did was we already disconnected this hose here, radiator hose. It has clamps just like this. I uninstalled it with a channel lock, and what I did was took it off at the low point down here and drained it from here. You can see what came out, dirty water. And we are going to be filling it with this universal green antifreeze, and we are going to flush it with the radiator flush, and we're going to be putting a new radiator cap. Main reason we're doing this is because the car was overheating, so we want to see if this is going to be a fix. And here's the radiator cap. We're going to be changing that, and we are also going to be taking off this reservoir, and we are going to be draining that as well. There's also a plug down here. There's a little plastic plug down here that you can take off the drain. I took it off and it was already completely drained from pulling the hose. Okay, now we're taking off this reservoir, removing this screw right here. I already have it loosened, and that was a 7mm socket. And after that, you just got to kind of maneuver it out. It sits down there in that little slot. It just pulls right on up. Now, as you can see, we got the reservoir out, and you can see what's coming out of this thing. It is rusty, dirty water. This wouldn't surprise me one bit if it's not why it was overheating. Okay, got all the hose back on, reservoir back in for now temporarily. Hook this back up, and we're gonna fill this with water. You're supposed to use distilled water. I'm just gonna use a regular tap water. I know you're not supposed to. And we're gonna fill this up all the way and run it for 10 minutes with the heater on high. We're gonna drain it, and then we're gonna put the radiator flush in it and let that run for 10 minutes. And then we're gonna rinse it again. On high, full blast, and we are going to let that run for 10 minutes. That's what it says on this Blue Devil flush. And then we will drain it, and we will add the flush and repeat. Okay. Now what you want to do is you want to let this cool down. Cool down for about 30 minutes. And what you want to do is you want to touch this, make sure it's cool to the touch and not too hot. And then, to be on the safe side, use a big towel on the radiator cap, and then open it, and it'll catch anything if it's too hot. Okay, and also what I'm doing is I'm going to put the hose in. I have radiator hose disconnected down at the bottom, and I'm just going to flush it out real good. Okay, now we were going to add this entire bottle of flush into the radiator, and what I did was I also cracked this port to get all the bubbles out, and that's also how we're going to be burping. Okay, just added the entire bottle, and it says to top it off with water while the engine is running, which is what we're going to be doing now. Go ahead and top that off, and when it's cool, the water can come out this port. Okay, we have the flush in, and we are letting it run for 10 minutes. We have the heater on high, but make sure you have it on normal AC because it pulls from the outside, and that's what we want to keep it cool, just so it doesn't overheat while we are letting it run. Okay, we're getting ready to add the Freon, and this is the do not add water. It's 3.78 liters, and the manual says to add 11.2 liters, which is roughly 3. Okay, we added the flush, and we are letting it drain again. And as you can see, it's still flushing out a lot of dirt. Have the engine running. We have the hose disconnected down at the bottom. We're gonna add the water hose, let it run. Get really rinse out that flush. Get it rinsed out real good before we add the engine fluid. Also, rinsing process. Put the hose back on, as you can see. I loosen this plug down here, this radiator plug down there. Water's coming out. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse it. That way that gets a good rinse. As well, as you can see, still got rusty water coming out of there. We want to get all that out. We want to get all the flush out before we fill it up. Okay, we have everything flushed, drained out, rinsed out, everything hooked back up. We're going to make sure this is loose, so we want to get all the bubbles out to burp it as we fill it up. And we are going to put in 3 of these into the funnel. Okay guys, whenever we're refilling coolant, we want to make sure the engine's on so that the coolant actually goes down. Something else to look out for, guys, as I was putting this all back together, I noticed that on my reservoir here, coolant reservoir, that it is cracked right there. So that can't be good. I'll be replacing this. Guys, so we got the new overflow bottle in. We got a gallon of antifreeze in the bottle. We got a gallon in the radiator with the new radiator cap. I had to actually trim this hose a little bit. But everything's running smooth, and not only is it not overheating, as you can see, I've been having this thing running for about 30 minutes. I mean, it's not even getting in the middle, it's running so cool. But the actual check engine light actually went off. Before the check engine light was on, and now the check engine light's off. So that concludes this video. Thank you.